Friends, now we will move on to another perspective of the role of Secretary Department contribution to the board effectiveness. We have a veteran with us, Mr. Ramesh Shenoy. Before I invite him to make the presentation, a small brief introduction about him. Mr. Ramesh Shenoy is a graduate in economics and law and is a fellow member of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India. He has over 4 decades of professional experience. He was the company secretary and head compliance at BCS, which was later renamed as Reliance Infrastructures Limited. He is on the board of Mumbai Metro 1P Private Limited, a joint venture of Reliance and Government of Maharashtra. BSES and Infosys and their respective company, very, very important, where the company secretaries were conferred the Maiden Award for Pursuit of Excellence in Corporate Governance in 2001 by the Institute of Company Secretaries of India. I think our applause to Mr. Ramesh Shenoy. Now, I would request Mr. Ramesh Shenoy to share his valuable insights with the participants. Sir, it is over to you.
Good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can hear you. Please continue.
Krishnamurthy ji, thank you for putting my young-looking Shenoy on this. That is not somebody else, but looks handsome and young. And also, I thank NMS and Dr. Narasimhan ji and you for giving me this opportunity to talk about the Secretarial Department contribution to the board. And it is after 20 long years that the company secretary of Infosys and company secretary of BSES, these were the two companies which you got the award from the ICSI for the best corporate governance practices way back in 2001. And I thought I would be speaking after Parvati sir. It's a bit of a surprise because Parvati sir is a great authority on corporate governance, having background from Infosys, TCS, on US qualification, and now he's so it is like asking me to bat after Sachin Tendulkar, asking a last batsman to bat. I'll do my best at what I can do justice to this topic.
Sir, but you are a veteran. You are a veteran. You have more than 50 years of experience.
He made several issues. He played raised several issues. So we valid
Do that.
First was the duty of loyalty. The second was challenging times. We are heading towards challenging times. So I covered in depth in this issue. I'll not be speaking on governance because Parvati has spoken at length about it. I'll be limiting myself to contribution of Secretarial Department. And I'm also quite happy that whosoever drafted the theme of this topic, contribution of Secretarial Department. It is actually, in fact, the contribution of the team effort, not the company secretary as a one person. I always like to speak as a team and somehow hate the word I, my contribution, I did, I achieved, and all that. And he also said, it all these small matters which we think it's all small matters can be brushed aside. There's nothing small in what we do. There are hundreds of thousands of small things which we do finally, which results in our contribution and effectiveness of the board. I'll say that share with my professional colleagues how a small thing could become such a big issue and crisis management and derail the corporate actions. We had a series of buyback programs, and one of the buyback announcement which the board did, as all of you know, it has to be published in newspapers within 2 days. So first day we are finalizing it, second day and their job was on second day to get it covered in newspaper. Unfortunately for us, sadly, second day the newspaper missed out the advertisement, and without that ad, we can't proceed further in. We couldn't proceed further in buyback. Morning, I have a habit of reading the papers early in the morning. At 10 o'clock, I realized that we are heading towards the crisis because the announcement has not appeared. And from then, 3 hours, the kind of crisis, the kind of sweat, the consultation, we mustered all that we have at our command and found a solution, unique solution, and which SEBI initially unwilling to our line of thinking. And after waiting for 2 weeks and taking their own advice, internal, external, they finally agreed with us that this could work, and we achieved it. So it is actually not our function; it was a function of a PR to get us the ad published. He also spoke about that each meeting, some special topic to be present is to ensure that the concerned department makes a presentation. So my suggestion and the practice that we followed throughout has been that in the beginning of the year we draw a calendar of meetings along with the calendar of topics to be covered by each of the meetings, be it HR, be it legal, be it presentation on the subsidiaries, the projects, the plans. So all the meetings, 4 more meetings, they are in month of April itself. The topics are listed out and conveyed to the department, and then it is a routine course of follow-up to make the job of their presentations, just to keep the board updated. Then he was talking about the meaningful and strategic input in the board agenda. Our agenda is very clear, and I suggest you to follow that. That all the board items, be 20, 30, 40 items, be listed out under first for information, second for noting, and third where we need board approval, these specific items for approval or decision. So board is clear that these are the matters where board needs to deliberate and come to a decision. Then the drafting of minutes. It's a skill, it's art, it comes from experience, it comes from going deep into the subjects to be covered, and you should be speaking minutes in the sense that at the end of the year, sit down for drafting the board report or MDA. I take the minutes and start drafting it. So it's like a story starting from April till March. What all things happen in the company, in the developments, progress, difficulties, hurdles, all that. It is not only for me, for entire for the company. That is, we have a minutes which fully reflects what happened in the year. And also the drafting ability, drafting precision, that when it goes to confirmation, it should be a 1 minute job of confirming the minutes. I remember the days when we had a diverse board with diverse interest, and confirmation minutes would take 45 minutes, 1 hour, which people differing on their language. Somebody is dissent, somebody said this was deferred, and it was taking a lot of time, waste of thankfully, laws have been changed. You have to circulate in advance, get feedback, and it's a more organized, process driven. Next point which Prateesan, my dear friend, highlighted was a board composition. Board composition and committee composition. Decide it doesn't work out in actual practice. It is a company secretary who plays the decisive role in telling the top management, be it chairman, MD, that this is a board composition where we need to make change, or these are committees where we need to reshuffle, reconstitute for some reason. So the company secretary plays a pivotal role in seeing that the board composition or committee composition is best. And all these things, keep in mind, all governance issues, not only board composition, committee composition, but all the governance requirements are not to be attended to after 31st March when you start reporting and drafting the governance report for annual report. They need to be thought of in the month of March when you prepare the agenda for the April May board meeting, to include all those items for the next financial year, that you successfully achieve those items, successfully put in place all these governance issues, and smoothly implement, execute from April to next year March. So at the end of 31st March, you have fully achieved all these governance issues faithfully, satisfactorily, and with a lot of happiness present to the shareholders. Uh, Crisis management. Yes, it's the company secretary department. Lot of cases, it's a crisis management throughout 12 years, 12 months. So it is you need to know as much, as much of planning, as much of documentation, as much of process in place to see that we were all these corporate actions we move from one to another seamlessly without piece of getting into crisis management. We have five, our group has five AGMs and a massive number of shareholders and massive number of issues. It involves, we used to involve about almost 300 to 400 people in organizing AGMs, and entire process is documented. We used to work 3 months in advance for these meetings. A symphony of orchestra where we have 300 musicians playing, get a finest note, precise note at the board meeting venue. And the last 3 4 years, I remember previous day in the evening when I sit in the department, we were wondering, oh, is it the AGM tomorrow? Because we have put everything in place, the people are in week, but people are on the job. So smooth that we go home. The only time I think we go home on time is on the previous day of the AGM. So go home, take a good nap, sleep so that we are fresh, and next day we can do our best job. And secondly, you said about being proactive, governance is evolving, watch what's happening, governance practices. I remember the first governance codification happened in somewhere in 1996 when Confederation of Indian Industry, CI, came with 18.2 recommendations. This is the first time when immediately got the copy, the blue book, and there were 18 points, and I was thrilled that all the 18 were in compliance voluntarily. I went to a chairman saying that we are in compliance much ahead of the time. And let's showcase it in the annual report in 1997. And that's how the more self-motivated, and we got a lot of appreciation, a lot of encouragement. Chairman was delighted. He gave a free hand to us that hey, continue to do whatever it comes along the way. Be it Kumar Mangalam, be it the SOX, Surplus Auxiliary Act, be it a lot of other committees and all that. Then one point which I want to flashback is drafting of board minutes. Uh, when now everything is codified, for periodicity of meetings and all that. And I remember one year we landed up with 128 meetings of the board because we used to have every month one board meeting, 12 meetings in a year, and board committees, subsidiaries. I ended up having a 147 meetings. And imagine 147 meetings and the minutes. So I was working late nights, responding to the challenge. And I was thinking, oh, what am I doing in the office? All my years and months and weeks were lost in minutes, in drafting the minutes. Now I start my brief presentation of my presentation. So please move to the next slide. A definition of effective board which I got from the Financial Reporting Council, which oversees governance practices and codes in the United Kingdom. Two main objective is define company purpose, which is basically nothing but the vision of the company, and sets the strategy, which is the mission statement. And this is very important because vision is the final destination, mission is the path towards the destination. So company, I'll explain later why I put it here, because never before in the history of mankind, and hopefully I pray God that never hereafter, the kind of challenges that we face is unimaginable, and it is a huge challenge for the professionals, as we see it in the next statement. Challenges. I'll not deal much on this. I'm only giving a glimpse of challenges before the boards, before the companies, before the professionals, and what all things will take our energy and our professional expertise, skill to handle this. impact from pandemic. It's not the past, it is continuing. India is emerging possibly the second highest in the world, and we do not know how long. So this is a huge challenge, and I'm happy that the people have now started to live with and work with COVID, and that is yielding results in the next item, which is GDP. I was not surprised when India was down with the 23 drop in the GDP. All of you know that government, central government, state government spent lot of money in the month of March for these migrants. Demand for incentive package of incentives, and the government announced that 20% of the GDP as incentives, and there was a comparison with other countries. And if government has spent 20% of the GDP as incentives, and further the 4-5% before the announcement, were effectively 24 to 25%. So if our economy shrunk by 23% now, why would it? We knew, we demanded. In fact, there was a demand for higher level of incentive, saying that the amount is smaller. But the is higher, but the absolute number it is not. The United States, with the $19 trillion economy, has spent only $1.5 trillion in percentage terms. Our spending was something like 600 to 700 billion dollar, and our population is the 3 to 4 times higher, and our standard of living, our healthcare facilities. So this was required to be done. Now, how do we contain it? How do we control it? And how do we go forward? Consensus in the last 2 weeks is clarity is emerging that we may end up the year with minus 10%, which is sensible, reasonable, because thereafter we will be able to bounce back. Geopolitical tensions. Nobody knows. Massive troops are mustered on the border of both the countries, and we do not know how it is going to impact us. Banks are burdened with huge, and the finance ministry take is that something like 2 lakh crore rupees is required to be infused in banks, which is affecting the economy. Corporates are in deep in trouble. Almost 100 companies are in crisis over debt burden. And next one is the most important, that we are fast undergoing a disruptive phase of old business models and emergence of new business segments. Old business models, some of the business manufacturing, some of the tourism, aviation, the whole host of them in the Google, which are business models, hotels. Many of them may find it difficult to survive, and new business segments are emerging. You see, this ban on apps, Chinese apps. Within 1 month, a lot of new models were appeared in Indian market, and I think we should be able to take the best of these opportunities to bounce back. Sustainability of business models. These were the risk committee has to do. Analysis, in-depth analysis, and understand how relevant we are, how sustainable we are, and are we going to be there as we go along, how long. And sure that tough times do not last, but tough people do. When I talk about sustainability, always keep in mind that look at the company like GE, my old company, still going strong. Of the boardroom practices, governance practices, we come to board strategy and boardroom practices. I this will put it on because from here onwards, I go forward about contribution of the secretarial department to strengthen the board, to enhance board effectiveness, and what we do, what we need to do. So arising out the challenges which is in the previous slide, these I expect the board would undertake these exercises, review the vision and mission statement, short-term business plan, near-term capital budget to be cut because companies will have less of resources. A lot of interest burden on the companies, and that debt servicing capacity is affected. So that needs to be addressed. Amalgamation and restructuring business units already happening in the last 3 months in a big way. and exhaustive risk analysis and device mitigants. So in response to these, I expect corporates will understand and address and decide about wide range of corporate actions. And when we know that this is a situation, we know this is a challenge, we know this is a crisis. So we as a security department have to proactively plan that what all we need to be in readiness to address the challenges, and what all plans we need to execute speedily and successfully and without much issues. That calls for processes, checklists, timelines, and all that. The way, a shining example that I want to highlight here is that during the maximum at this period of lockdown of 3 to 4 months, India's largest corporate, Reliance Industries, came out with a series of corporate plans, massive plans, and they executed with topmost speed because all of them, because they had plans, this process, detailed process in place, execute them, they could achieve that, and the result is that almost 210,000 crore rupees were raised in 3 4 months, and the company is now slim and trim with the debt burden significantly reduced, and the market cap almost doubled in these 3 4 months. This is what we need to do. And my friends in the profession, please think it is not a huge challenge. It's possible. Document the process. Be alert, what's happening in the corporate world. Be alert about challenges. How do we respond? How do we achieve it? My own experience that when my company was taken over by Reliance, our chairman wanted an FCCB to be done, and he called me up in the evening, and he wanted to do an FCCB issue, bond issue by next day, 24 hours. I thought it is a challenge. I was new, but I had a bond issue. I had all the agency with whom I worked during my 6 months. So we activated the entire process in the evening. The entire night we spent updating all the 10 12 documents. Where all the agencies were working full night. And by next day, we were in readiness with the documentation. By evening, I thought I was being pulled up to check how up to date I am. But when I said next day that we are in readiness, I was given instruction that we are waiting. Go ahead, not the issue. And the next day, I had to caution, caveat, sir, we are going, we'll go ahead, but some of the issues are subject to subject. He says put hundreds of subject to, doesn't matter, but go ahead. And it was subject to obtaining shareholders' approval by postal ballot. And we did concluded the deal at the night, and it was subject to obtaining shareholders' approval. And is called foreign currency convertible bond issue. We got a zero coupon at high convertible conversion price. So we could do that. I think in the interest of time, I will go through remaining slides, but I'll touch upon only those points where I need to elaborate. I took a little long time on Parvatisan's observations because I was quite excited to learn something, know something. And in this board committees, it is a company secretary which oversees these committees and actually participates and delivers, supports the committees in functioning of these committees. Example, stakeholders relationship committee. Stakeholders growths are not addressed. They escalate upwards, and they are not higher levels. Higher levels, MD, CEO, then chairman. We should be so effective and proactive that we should be at our level able to control this, contain this, and nothing should go above us. Our happiness and satisfaction that in my tenure, I could make sure that none of the cases went to our chairman. Next one, please. Next slide. That is the orientation and training board. We go to the next slide. Yes. Every board is unique. Every company is unique. So there is no fit for all kind of models. The promoter-driven company, the white-led company, the PSUs, the institution controlled by MNCs. So we need to be imbibe the culture of the company and make the directors also imbibe the culture and understand how they function in that kind of culture. And in this last one is annual conclave. A lot of ways which we can keep the board updated and board can be effective. One is annual conclave. Uh, we often invite experts to make a presentation at our board meetings, and I'm happy that my was in ACC. In one of the board conclave, they invited Nandan Nilekani to speak about artificial intelligence and how it will make transformational change in the way in which we conduct business. See, they are undergoing this is a transition phase where there will be huge changes on the path. Unless we keep up, best, keep up to date with all these changes taking place, it will be quite a difficult challenge for the company and board and intern company. Next slide, we move on. Board communication, please. Board charter. It is like articles of association for companies. Board charter is for the board. It sets up all the requirements. Then regular update on developments in industry. We have a system where every day morning all these news items relating to the industry and the company they have been circulating. So we have been keeping the board up to date. No suspense with the directors about anything new happening. Next, we go to board meetings and decisions. These are all routine process which directors undertake. And I conclude with the takeaways from this meeting, which is last one. Excellence is not in by eminent Greek philosopher Aristotle. And when you do this, when you come out with work on better governance process systems, principles, developments, it's good to, it's an enjoyable experience to do it voluntarily because you have a framework which restricts your creativity or your freedom. So we did most of things voluntarily, and what voluntarily we do, finally we will end up as a mandatory requirement. That's what you see. All the things have been made prescribed now over the last 2 decades. Before that, almost most of them are being done voluntarily and with flexibility. And then once it becomes mandatory, it's easy to move on to get to mandatory structure. And it is a excellence is a journey, not the destination. And it's a journey towards the destination. Every day we need to make effort to journey to achieve better excellence and make it a habit. And I request all my professional colleagues, make it a habit. It is make it a habit to continually improve upon your contributions and leave behind the imprint of your value addition in whatever you do, so that you will be useful contribution to your company. Thank you. I think I was a bit over short.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much thank you, sir, for sharing your 50 years of experience on many important points like board committee, and also the know what are the board communication, how we can contribute to board effectiveness, and also highlighting on the takeaways. Especially the excellence is not a event, but it should be made a habit. Yes, definitely it is closely connecting with the corporate what the board culture is all about. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot.